Chaz at 8 o'clock. Man, I've been so psyched to talk to Chaz. You suppose this is my chance to ask Chaz if he'll have a beer with me?
Yes, this is your opportunity. This is your grand opportunity. You've been inseparable with him. He is. If you were ever going to have a little fling with a man, this would clearly be it for you.
Well, ever since I saw
absolutely caught up in all things Chaz.
The Letterman interview, which I thought was really well done, because there were a lot of jokes, kind of, Dave. Of course, Dave had to crack a few jokes, but by the time the interview was half over, I really thought I was watching two guys talking to one another, and I thought, I'm not going to make fun of this guy anymore. I really think this is a guy. This is, in spite of the lack of equipment downstairs, Chaz, and you've seen Chaz's interviews, doesn't he?
Yes.
I mean, he's there.
No,
that's
he's a guy.
Now.
No, he's totally a guy now. The fact that it's so weird because he looks like a guy. He's got this goatee. He talks like a man. He doesn't look like a woman who's trying to be a man. He just looks like a guy through and through. And the idea that he's got a vag down there just absolutely blows my mind. Or as he would say, his bottom.
I know, it's really weird.
He doesn't want to. He only refer to it as his bottom. But the idea that there's nothing there, that he's a Barbie doll down there, it just. That just spins my head around 2-3 times.
I don't know if I'd say Barbie doll down there. I have a feeling it's a bit of a mess.
Well, he's smooth because he's shaved on top of that.
I think what Chaz has down there is kind of like if a guy had what Chaz has down there and just sort of mistreated for 20 years, the way guys do. The way guys are messy,
guys,
and they don't take care of things.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that thing is a wreck.
Well, it has to be. I mean,
it's a mess.
What's funny is the concept that you've got this man who is inside of a woman's body. Now, that's a dangerous situation. Can you imagine? I mean, if you set loose any man inside of a woman's body, they're gonna basically destroy it, probably across a weekend. I mean, if I had a chance to climb inside a beautiful woman's body, not that he's got that, but can you imagine? I mean, you'd be playing with your boobs all weekend. I'd be doing so many despicable things I can't even tell you to myself.
Yeah, Chaz had over 20 years to mess around with that thing.
Yeah,
almost 40 years actually. I'm sorry.
Hell, I'd be inseparable with my hand mirror for one. That would be that'd be my Linus blanket. But for you, now see, you have Chaz has something different for you though. There's a difference there. You are really all over this Chaz thing.
I just think he'd be a good buddy. I think he'd be a buddy
for you.
After the Letterman interview, I distinctly felt I wanted to have a beer with Chaz. I just want to hang out with a guy.
I just wonder if it could go beyond
watch a
that.
ball game.
Do you think it could go past that?
We could really be friends.
Yeah. You could spoon ever?
No, it's not like that. I think think he'd be a good guy friend. I really do. He's such a guy. I mean,
But he does have a vag,
Yeah, but he hates it. He can't stand it. He's furious at his vag.
I think the day they glue a wiener on there,
they glue a wiener on there.
I can't believe that A, it's going to look right, or B, that it's going to have the ability to become aroused and, as Wiener would say, hard as rock, and C, be functional to its end product.
Very
Seems
strange.
Awfully bizarre, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I can't quite wrap my brain around that one.
Yeah, that's always been a mystery, I think, on both sides of that, be it a woman or a man, and that's why we see very few pictures of that.
No, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever really seen, wouldn't you think there'd be some website where they go, hey, here's a really good one. Here's a really good one we made.
Absolutely.
No one's ever made a really good one, to my knowledge.
No. In fact, you're right. You'd think there would be a website that would be like, great fake vag,
Sure, they show you the best breast implants. You can see all kinds of stuff when you look for that, or any kind of cosmetic surgery. They give you great examples of when it goes right.
Yeah.
This one's pretty tough.
Made in the USA, yeah. Somebody fashioning that sort of thing.
How do you duplicate something as unique and special as this? How would you do that? It can't be done.
I don't think you can either. I don't think you can either. And I think it would be an equal mess trying to take a dude and make a fantastic vag out of that. Yeah, I mean, the end result has got to be one big mess.
I know. Think about doing.
I mean,
come on,
are you serious?
Make that?
That would also be functioning and would, all the things that it is capable of doing.
But whenever you do that, I mean, if you make the big V out of the big P, all you have to make it with is the penis.
I know it.
You got to use the parts that are there.
Yeah, so
how screwed up is that?
I know. For one, you're just going to have a really big fat guy in the canoe to begin with. You can have a Walter Hudson sitting in that canoe.
Oh, God.
But after that, I mean, I got to believe things are going to be as dry as the Sahara. Look, it doesn't work on either end. I don't think, and you don't either. There's no way, and that is why we haven't seen pictures of it. But
and I don't want to talk about any of this with Chaz. It's just going to bum Chaz out. And Chaz is my buddy.
Yeah,
he's our guy friend. I made fun of people who were calling him using the he pronoun. But I really feel like there's nothing else to call him. It's not an it. He's not an it. He's not a she. He is a guy. It's not even close, and I can't wait to get him on the air just so people can hear what a guy this is. If you didn't catch any of the interview rounds, because Chaz was everywhere.
Well,
when this first went down, he was on Letterman, Leno, all the shows, the morning shows. I think he was on The View. So you call him he. It just came out so naturally. Yeah, he was on Oprah. Well, sure he was.
But it's just such a. Can you imagine the confusing existence that this guy has had across his life? I mean, the idea that in the beginning,
this guy is an absolute load.
The idea that he was a lesbian, and then this confusion within yourself, like this isn't right. These parts aren't right for me, and then you come out and then you're gay, and then now he's a transgender, but he really wants to be a guy.
Well,
but he's going to become I think he wants to be an activist for the trans. I thought I read that the transgender sort of thing.
Guys.
Well, think about that.
I don't know, man.
You're taking a lesbian, a woman who wanted to be with women, same sex, after nixing the breasts, and that was what bothered Chaz the most. And I mean, almost like a guy.
Yeah.
He felt like, oh, these boobs, they're like bitch bleeps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they were like to Chaz. He unloads them, and the hormone therapy too is just huge, because even Chaz's girlfriend, and this is how cool Chaz is. Chaz has a hot girlfriend,
Chaz, boy.
And this is Chaz's lesbian lover from previous. Chaz is such a cool dude now as a guy that even after this transitional surgery, his hot girlfriend from the lesbian days is staying with him.
Well, that's
yeah. She has made some strange comments too about how Chaz's personality has changed. That he's less emotional. He's not inclined to cry about little silly things. That he's much shorter with her.
He gets over problems in a hurry.
It's really I mean, I died hearing this stuff. How funny is that?
All of a sudden he wants
the testosterone, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Next thing he's ordering a pizza halfway through. There's no more foreplay. Her life is changing completely. But that is a weird concept when you think about it from her spectrum, and we both agree that his girlfriend is actually an attractive girl.
She's very nice looking.
Which is really bizarre, because you would think, who would be attracted to such a conglomeration of entities? But
just the mentality of it is crazy.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
to live that story. Wow.
I mean, 1 minute you're a lesbian, then this lesbian that you're in love with is now morphing into a man. But if you're a lesbian, it's like, well, you don't really want that, but yet you're in love with this woman, but this woman wants to be a man, and then you start changing all of your sexuality and the things that you do in the bedroom to reflect a complete flip of roles, and then now he's in that half state in this transgender issue. I mean, wow, sexually, that's one zigzagging experience she's having.
Well, I don't think that, I don't know, it could be crazy, but something tells me that vagina's not working terribly well. It's not like it was before when Chaz was a lesbian and was, using that thing for all of its appropriate purposes. Now it represents the leftover, the last vestige of being a female. Now, maybe Chaz takes care of it because he's really in love with his chick. He's now in heterosexual love with this This is so weird. This is so nuts.
I know, it's so weird. You think that now that he is more of a guy than ever, maybe he'd be playing with that thing more than ever, just realizing like, hey, this is really, I've got a unique opportunity here as a man. But he wants to off it.
You know how he feels about his boobs. He couldn't wait to get rid of those things. I think that thing represents the last part of the relationship with the... God, I know we talked to Chaz about this. I feel like I'm bonded enough with Chaz that I can somehow get into this conversation, but this is way too weird.
You are very caught up in all things Chaz. There's no question about it. You are.
I want to have a beer with him. I do.
Well, yeah, I know.
It's like the most enlightened moment I've had in my life.
I have an idea. You wouldn't mind spending a month out there, kind of in maybe a guest house or something.
Tour baseball stadiums or something like that. If it was,
I think you want more with Chaz.
I want to take Chaz into the gender and show him what it's all about to be a guy. He was dying to be a guy for 40 years. He's finally almost here. Doesn't he deserve to celebrate?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I hope you get over this someday with this Chaz thing, because I don't know. This is something I've never seen you so caught up in something like this. This is one tall glass of water that you don't want to finish this.
It is my most enlightened moment in life.
I've never seen you this.
I mean,
like
half a century I've been here, I've never felt so enlightened until Chaz came along.
I tell you, I've known you for 20 years. I've never known you to be like this.
This guy is an absolute load.
No, Chaz is not a load. Chaz is cool, man. We got to break it.
Listen to that.
We got to
Chaz
break.
Is cool, man. Listen to you.
Chaz is all right. He's a dude.
Jeez, all right.
Got to help him get into the gender.
All right.
He deserves it. I mean, he's been fighting for 40 years to be one of us. He's finally almost here, and we're not going to help him out.
God, all right.
Quite a book. Transition, the story of how he became a man, by Chaz Bono. Is this the most cliche song we could play?
Yeah, you got to, though.
Yeah, I like this song. I have to
I
admit.
always like this song, man. I remember watching Sonny and Cher and their show that they had. And
I know. I was reading this, a little piece from the book, and I'm thinking, I can't believe watching the Sonny and Cher show with little Chastity.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
Here, all these years later, we're about to talk to Chaz.
I know. It's pretty surreal.
It seems like 2 lifetimes ago.
Yeah, boy.
Morning, Chaz.
Morning. How you guys doing?
Very well. Do you mind coming on to your parents' song, I Got You, Babe?
No, that's a good choice.
How many
great
people?
Song, man.
Is that what everybody's choosing to bring you on to?
No. So I commend you on your choice.
Okay, so we're not completely common.
It was a great song. It was really terrific. Yeah. They were great.
By the way, the name Chaz seems to really work for you. I don't know why. Was that the only choice, or did you think of some other names?
No, that was the only choice. I mean, nobody ever called me Chastity, except for, strangers and stuff. So I always went by Chaz. So it was pretty easy. As I got older and kind of knew this was coming, I just slowly shifted over to Chaz, and so it was pretty natural for me.
Well, it's interesting being as big an activist as you have been, and of course this transition has just been a huge thing in terms of publicity and all your appearances, and now the book. Chaz, it's such a unique name. You really sort of moved into that one name, that zone with Madonna, and it's pretty
Prince.
cool.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty attached to my last name too, so.
Yeah, that's a pretty good last name. Pretty powerful last name, all right.
No doubt.
Wouldn't want to shed that.
Boy, I was trying to decide what would be tougher. All the things that Chaz has been through. Really a tough life. Chaz, I don't know if you can answer this, but what was tougher for you? Coming out as a lesbian or telling Mom you're going to have reassignment surgery to become a male?
Definitely, for me, coming to terms with the fact that I was really transgender and then coming to the point of being able to transition was much harder, just because, there weren't any transgender role model. There was, no information about what it meant to be transgender while I was growing up, and there is still so little, and there's such a stigma attached to it. So, it was definitely much more difficult. Nobody wants to grow up and be transgender.
Oh, no, obviously. As far as your mother, now I would think Cher, and Mike, I know you're going to feel the same way. Wouldn't you think Cher would be the coolest person in the world? I mean, if you had to go through something like this.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I would think that she'd be very liberal and understanding, especially, the relationship she had with the gay community in those days. I mean, Cher, are you kidding? I would think she'd be very accepting. But
not the case. Cher, your mother had a difficult time with this, did she not, Chaz?
I think she had a difficult time with it, but I don't think, as far as how parents handle this, she's actually been pretty cool and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know, people, I think, forget that she's a parent so often because she's got such a an image as an entertainer and for so many years. But, our relationship has always been child and parent, and this is a tough thing for any parent to go through. So I actually think that she's handled it pretty well, considering.
How about Sonny? How was it with, what was Sonny's reaction? Were they?
I hadn't realized this before my dad passed away. So it wasn't anything we ever, got to talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you actually came out as gay.
Oh yeah, that I did. Definitely.
Yeah.
So how was his reaction to that?
Yeah.
He was very, very loving and accepting, and I came out to him when I was about as a lesbian at 18, and he was, he handled it really as well as you could ask for a parent to handle it.
Hey, Mike Clark, at this point, do you feel like we're talking to a guy?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. No, there's no question.
Chaz, I don't mean to put you on the spot here and make you feel uncomfortable, but I got to tell you, I was watching you with David Letterman, your recent TV appearance. Did you enjoy that, by the way, your time with Dave?
I did, yeah. I really enjoyed my interview with David Letterman.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, he kind of got his little jokes in, but you guys had it was a very serious conversation, and you covered all the bases, and I thought he covered them very well, and you seemed like you were having a nice time at the same time. But yeah. While you and Dave were talking, I really had an epiphany, and that's that it really seemed like two guys were having a conversation about this obviously very complicated subject, and I thought, I wouldn't mind having a beer with Chaz. I feel like Chaz is a dude.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, obviously that's how I've always felt, and now since transitioning, I obviously, feel even more so. I mean, now I really feel like my body matches how I've always felt inside my head. So.
Oh, God, that just had to be all so confusing. I mean, back when you had to be a lesbian, but you're really a guy, and then, I mean, mentally, what a roller coaster that must have been in your life.
That's really what it was mostly and what the book is really about is almost more of an emotional journey than the physical journey, because the physical part is, believe it or not, fairly straightforward once you start. But coming to terms with this was really difficult. And for me, I think, the biggest part of the journey was getting to a place in my life where I could finally put my needs ahead of everybody else's, because that was the thing that was really holding me up. Is I was just so consumed and so worried with what is everybody else going to think of me.
And that goes right down to your girlfriend. And, man, I got to hand it to you, Chaz. As a lesbian, you've got this gorgeous girlfriend. I mean, a really beautiful girl.
Oh, man.
And you make the transition from a lesbian female to a heterosexual male, and she's still your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you were concerned about losing her, obviously, were you not?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Definitely. Not once. Obviously, we talked a lot about this before I started, and so at that point I was pretty confident. But it took me about 10 years from the time that I realized this was true about myself before I started transitioning, and in that time I did lose relationships because of it. So it was something that I was really, really afraid of. Is who's going to love somebody like me if I transition?
Yeah, I mean, she's because she's pulled into the emotional washing machine, really, on the spin cycle, boy, and to go from a lesbian relationship to a transgender relationship to, like Drew said, you're really a guy, and certainly for her sexually, it's all over the place. It's everything.
Yeah, well, again, and that, for us, it was really the emotional side of the journey as well. Jen has, in her life, had always identified as being bisexual, so it wasn't really, the physical side of things that was difficult, but, as male as I felt before, when you add testosterone into a relationship, it really does change things on an emotional level, so we had to, learn how to interact again, almost from scratch.
Hey, man, I wish we could go get a beer and talk about this some more, Chaz, but obviously you got to run, but let's do it again sometime.
Okay, you got it. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, too.
All right.
See you,
Chaz.
No,
Chaz.
You're right, a guy.
There's a guy. We were talking to a guy there. There's no way that is not a woman anymore.
I know.
And I never believed that in a million years. I don't care what you do with those parts. You can do whatever you want. You can mangle it and try and say it's this or say it's... That's a guy. That's absolutely a guy.
Yeah. But the bottom half, oh boy.
Until you guys are hanging out and you decide to carry the conversation over to the urinals.
I got you, babe.
I know. She's got it.
You have to go to install next to him, Drew.
He's got to get rid of the vagina. There's no question. She's got to do that.
I think he knows, yeah. He's got to glue a wiener on there at some point.
You wear a strap-on all the time.
Well, there's no doubt. We know because Jen is a bisexual. Yeah. You know Chaz is strapping on some monster.
Oh, yeah, that goes without saying, yeah. And it will be huge. Yeah, it'll be huge.
Can you imagine the smile on Chaz's face as he enters the room with that monster strap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing isn't like some 6-inch replica.
No.
It's just ginormous.
Yeah, boy. But Jenny's the girl. Really cute, man.
No, she is. She really is. She's actually a very beautiful girl. That's what threw me as much as seeing him.
It is. It really does throw you. And not only that, she's made some really funny comments about what Chaz is like now. Just that Chaz is less emotional. It tends to be a little shorter, with certain subjects, whereas normally it might get, a little maybe more emotional, hard on the sleeve-ish. Not anymore. Not the new Chaz.
Yep. No more foreplay, ordering pizzas, having a cigarette right after. Things are changing.
Chaz has the testosterone just coursing through through his body, and he's all guy.
Yeah, he's all guy. Yeah, and now the arguments now it's
needs that thing though, man. Have that penis. And look at how hard. And I'm proud of this. I'm glad it's hard. It shouldn't be easy to replicate this thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything tougher in the world? Is there anything that has thrown people in the medical establishment more than trying to copy this thing? No.
That's the problem, and I think that's why he's still stuck with that vag right now, because it's such a daunting situation to try to recreate something and have it be decent.
You got something that unique and special.
Oh, yeah.
How are you gonna copy it from scratch with those parts? Are you kidding? You're gonna make this? Are you kidding me?
Look at all the amazing things that go on. The issues like shrinkage in the cold, the incredible difference in fully aroused. I mean, look at all the things that something that you glue on has to be able to do.
Yeah, not an easy task. Not an easy task. No.
280 pounds here, man. 6'4", 56-inch chest, 20-inch arms. Yeah, man. Look at that, man. Power and size, man.
See, now his girlfriend can refer to him as needing to lose some weight, and it's okay.
Yeah, not a big deal.
When he was a woman, it was like, it was a big problem. You can't suggest a woman's carrying a few too many pounds, but now that he's a man, no big deal. Yeah, I'm a slob. It doesn't matter.
I have to say, I don't think anyone can argue with this either. Chastity was really not an attractive woman. It was not a good-looking woman. And I don't care if Chastity had lost 100 pounds. Look at these earlier pictures. Actually, she looks better. Like, see that with Cher, this picture from 1991. Chastity looks okay there. She looks kind of cute.
Oh, let me just see that close range real quick, having seen her on these talk shows, or him.
I mean, she doesn't look like that. He doesn't look like that at all now. But that's in 91.
Boy, that Cher dominated that, didn't she?
Yeah,
Boy,
definitely.
You can really see Cher's eyes, and yeah.
But
interesting.
In recent years, Chastity Bono, sort of the heavy years, I would call them, because Chastity really kind of let things go from 2000 on.
Well, I remember those Globe pictures you and I used to laugh at endlessly.
Huge.
Oh, my good God.
Monstrous.
Oh, and ugly. Oh, dear
really
God.
Repulsive looking.
Isn't it hard? Yeah.
But you take Chastity and you do the top surgery, you get the testosterone going, you take the boobs away, you figure we'll do the penis later, but we're going to do it. And all of a sudden, whammo, Chaz. Chaz is not a bad-looking guy, is he?
Not
Not a bad-looking guy.
Drew.
Is he
Here
all
you
right?
pull up in this Chaz thing. Here you go again.
Well, no, look at the cover.
On the road now. You're starting. Here you go now.
But you just looked at the pictures of the very unattractive Chastity in recent years. Chastity is, a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10? Chaz is like, what, a 5?
He just looks like an overweight guy. He just looks like an overweight guy. But doesn't he look like he would be at any tailgate party?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
He looks like a good guy. I mean, if your daughter brought home Chaz, you go, well, looks like a good guy. He can certainly lose some weight, but Chaz seems like a good dude.
He's got a goatee now. Didn't we see him in the talk show? Did he have a goatee?
Oh, and I didn't see that.
I might be wrong because I'm just thinking that's a lot of hair to be growing out. Maybe not.
Have you seen Chaz with facial hair?
I love comparing the two covers of his book, though. Remember we were doing that yesterday, Drew?
Yeah.
That cover versus his other cover when he was Chastity.
Oh, right. Wow.
Well, even that picture you were
day.
showing me, I mean, I don't know how he has gone through this without blowing his head off. I mean, when you have people that have that much conflict within themselves as to what they are, who they are, although I guess he ultimately figured that out and got himself focused and got himself together, but that can be very precarious. I mean, that has been the